Hey, yo, what's up, my hoopers? It's your boy Crunch Time back with another video. I hope y'all are having a great day and you're ready for another video. Yeah, it's another MVP take, guys. This is my second video in a row covering the MVP race, but it's just that the MVP race this year fascinates me, man. I'm sorry. I just love talking about it. Before we get started with the video, though, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 50 subs by the end of February, so if you want to join the Crunch Squad, Crunch Gang, Crunch Nation, I don't know what I'm really going to call you guys, go ahead and subscribe. With that being said, let's get into the video. Now, I want to make one thing very, very clear. I don't hate LeBron James, okay? He is one of the greatest players of all time. I think he's unanimously a top 2 player of all time. I don't think there's much debate about that anymore. At least top 3. I don't think there's much discussion about that anymore. So I recognize his greatness, okay? I don't hate LeBron James. I'm just pointing out something I see, kind of a double standard I see in the MVP race when it comes to the MVP race and LeBron James. So what I really wanted to say was that the constant narratives and storylines that the media are always trying to spin, well, they just don't make much sense to me, okay? Right now, LeBron James sits at number 1 on the Kia MVP ladder, and most major sports news outlets have him up there as well in their MVP rankings, and it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. First of all, because of the precedent set before this season, right? Specifically, I want to talk about how my main man Stephen Curry was treated, as well as Kevin Durant when he came to Golden State, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Steph and KD had won the MVP award for the 3 years prior to KD joining the Warriors. So they were always in competition for that MVP award, if not winning it, right? KD in 2014, Curry in 2015, and of course in 2016. But when Kevin Durant joined Golden State, both him and Curry's chances of winning the MVP disappeared instantly. And personally, that makes a lot of sense, right? I accepted that. They basically have one of the greatest teams of all time. They've got 2 MVP caliber players, right? But what doesn't make sense to me is why isn't the same logic being applied to LeBron James? Why is he still a front runner for MVP this season? He literally got AD, who, might I remind you, before the season started, ESPN had ranked as the second best player in the NBA, behind LeBron James. Along with that, he has one of the deepest rosters in the league. Like, he literally has the 6th man of the year from last year and the runner-up for 6th man of the year last year, as well as some solid bench pieces. So he's got a great roster. He's got another superstar next to him, according to ESPN, the second best player in the league after himself, but he can still be in MVP conversations. I don't get it. Like, where's the consistency? And I don't want to hear that LeBron is the centerpiece of that team. I don't want to hear the excuse that if you take AD off the team, just LeBron James by himself can carry that team to the playoffs and make them competitive. But you take LeBron James off that team and it becomes basically the Anthony Davis-led Pelicans that we were seeing just a couple years ago, right? I don't want to hear that excuse because, okay, sure, that's true. But why wasn't that same logic applied to Stephen Curry when KD came to Golden State? Now, let me explain. In the 3 years that KD was on the Warriors, their record without KD, but with Stephen Curry on the court, was 27-4. Ridiculous, right? But without Stephen Curry and with KD on the floor, their record was 23-16. So, just going off of that, it's a bit obvious who was more valuable to that team. So I don't want to hear that excuse for LeBron James when Stephen Curry wasn't provided that same luxury. So yeah, there's a bit of a double standard that I'm seeing this year for LeBron James in the MVP discussion. Even last year, there was a massive push for this man to be MVP over Giannis and Kawhi because of 2 games. That's ridiculous. Because I think most of you remember that before LeBron went on a 2-game stretch where he beat the Bucks and the Clippers, 2-game stretch where he beat the Bucks and the Clippers, Giannis was pretty much the clear front runner for MVP. I think there was even some discussion about whether he would be unanimous or not. But after that 2-game stretch, a lot of people were ready to put LeBron James over him. After 2 games. That's ridiculous. So again, that's just showing that people just want LeBron James to win MVP, man. People will do anything to get this man his 5th MVP award, man. But I also want to address that part of the narrative is that he's doing this in his 18th season, putting up insane stats. But what people seem to forget is that he's doing it with an insanely talented roster. Like whenever people say, oh, he's doing this in his 18th season. He's doing this at 36 years old. But you're forgetting he's playing with a superstar. A legitimate superstar and one of the deepest rosters in the league. Now, I want to clarify that I'm not trying to take away from what LeBron is doing. I just want to contextualize it because what he's doing is great. It's amazing. It's astounding, okay? It's literal greatness. But that's just something you have to kind of put in context sometimes, okay? You can't just leave out that part. That's pretty important when he's playing with a roster like that. Now, the number 2 reason that I'm making this video is you have to keep in mind that the team record has a lot to do with who is up there in the MVP rankings, right? That's kind of why someone like Steph Curry isn't really up there with the big dogs like KD, Kawhi, Giannis, LeBron, obviously, Joel, even Nikola Jokic. I'll get into that double standard in another video, but he doesn't really have necessarily the best record either, but he's up there. I don't understand that either, but that's not really the point of this video. But the point is, team record plays a huge part in the MVP race. I don't think that's something that really needs to be explained. I think everybody knows that, or everybody should know that, who follows the NBA really closely. And so the Lakers are currently second in the West, which is cool and all. But again, I want to contextualize that. It's cool until you realize that they have had one of the easiest schedules in the league so far. Hands down, right? You look at who they've played. The contenders, the legitimate title contenders that they've played the Clippers, the Bucks, the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Nuggets. And then the Mavericks, if you want to include them in that title contender area. I don't really think they're legitimate title contenders, but you can put them in there as well. And I guess also the Blazers as well, if you want to do that. I don't really do that. I don't really think they're legitimate title contenders, but you can put them up there as well. Other than that, though, they've played the Timberwolves, one of the worst teams in the league. They played the Spurs 3 times, the Grizzlies twice without Ja Morant, the Bulls twice, the Rockets twice, the Thunder 3 times, the Pelicans, the Warriors, the Cavs, the Pistons twice, the Hawks, and the Grizzlies with Ja Morant. Now you tell me, is that a challenging schedule? Is that really a competitive and challenging schedule? No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. It's just not. Okay? Now, obviously, the team schedules will balance out eventually, but I'm just saying to keep in mind that the team schedule strength heavily influences the team record, especially this early in the season. And that's kind of why the Lakers are kind of up there, just behind the Utah Jazz with the 2nd seed. They've had a really, really easy schedule. Now, finally, let's look at the stats, right? I just wanted to compare the stats, LeBron's stats, to the rest of the top 3 MVP candidates right now, plus Steph Curry, because I think it's criminal that he's not really up there, not even in the top 5, but I mean, what can you really do? I'll compare his stats to LeBron. Now, LeBron is averaging 29, 9, and 8 on 50, 39, 72 splits in 35 minutes. Embiid, 29, 3, and 11 on splits of 55, 38, 85 in 32 minutes. Less minutes. Jokic, 27, 9, 11 on 57, 39, 85 splits in 36 minutes. Curry, 36 and 6 on 49, 44, 93 splits in 34 minutes. Less minutes. So I'm not saying that LeBron's stats are inferior to some of these guys' stats, even though if you compare his to Embiid's and Jokic's, you could make the argument that they are. But I'm just saying LeBron is putting up really, really good numbers, MVP type numbers, but so are the other top 3 MVP candidates. Even Curry is putting up similar numbers with far, far less talent on his roster. And a harder schedule so far. Look at the Warriors' schedule, bro. They've had a harder schedule than the Lakers. But that's a video for another day, okay? I just want to kind of show y'all that he's not really putting up insane numbers. He's not breaking records. His numbers are, when compared to MVP candidates, they're fairly average. So suffice to say, there is a heavy double standard for LeBron in the MVP race this year. But I was watching Kenny, also known as King of the Fourth Quarter today. Go follow him. Go check him out. I don't think I really have to shout out King of the Fourth Quarter. I'm pretty sure almost all of you know who he is. But, I mean, if you haven't heard of him, go check him out. A link to his channel is down in the description. I would definitely recommend checking out his channel if you haven't already. But he made a really good point when talking about why LeBron is so high in the MVP race. And he basically said that LeBron has just had more moments. Whether it be a clutch shot in OT, or a clutch defensive play to win the game in OT, or coming back to win the game after being down 22-2 in the first quarter or something like that. This season has just been so full of those moments for LeBron, and that kind of plays a part in boosting his case for MVP. And I agree with that take. I full-heartedly agree with that take, right? LeBron has had plenty of amazing moments this year. He's had some incredibly clutch plays this season. But my problem with that logic is that the Lakers are the defending champions. So why are they going to OT with teams like OKC 2 nights in a row in the first place? Why is that happening? Especially since in the second game of that kind of back-to-back matchup with OKC didn't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Why is he going to OT in the first place? Why is he going to double overtime with the Pistons of all teams in the first place? Now, I know the Pistons are kind of giant slayers, but if you're the defending champions, that shouldn't be a problem. You should be able to take down the Pistons. Why is he down 22-2 against the Grizzlies in the first place? Like, I just don't know, man. That's something nobody ever brings up. It doesn't make sense, okay? That's just my take on this whole situation. Once again, I do not hate LeBron James. Far from it. But something just ain't adding up, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Will LeBron win his 5th MVP? Or will someone else claim the award? Does LeBron deserve to win his 5th MVP? If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like and check out some of my other videos. If you like those too, then feel free to subscribe, man. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day. It's been your boy Crunch Time, and I'll see you next time.